Right, welcome back to the channel. Not too sure what I'm going to be getting up to in this video. Probably going to play off over tonight and possibly tomorrow. But the first thing I'm going to do is get the bonnet on, start to, I suppose, just get stuff out of the way and give the car a bit of an escort look again. So I'm going to crack on with that now. I need to bring it down a little bit on this side. Let's have a look how she sits. Catching a bit there, and this side's a little bit high, possibly a little bit low on that side. Right, so I'm not going to worry too much about lining it up right now, but as you can see, we're just over a touch on the driver's side, and obviously it's a little bit out on the passenger side, so we just need to bring the bonnet just over a tiny bit. But you can see on this side, when we come down where we are on the old mount position, and on this side when that's moved over, it'll show a little bit more of the hole, and this one that's showing no hole will move over. So it looks like we've got the car in line anyway. So that's one good thing. This here is the shape that I need to make. So it's going to start off with a 90, and then we'll try and use the roller to recreate the shape. I'm not too bothered about getting that offset into it, because it's going to be new from one side to the other. So hopefully, using that as a guide, we can copy it. The old one used to flare out like that, but I don't need the flare, so I'll just keep it simple. So I've done this time, again trial and error. I should have done it on a smaller piece. I've done the curve, or a curve, and then use the bending machine to put a bend on it, and that now gives me that. So now what I'm thinking is, if I can force it over the bars, I should be able to pull that bend in. Alright, so this piece has turned out a lot harder than I thought. I need to cut it off at that point there and extend it across there a little bit. The rest of it I've managed to sort with the roller, the English wheel, everything that you can think of I've used, and then I've just got to do a little bit of manipulation to get it into place. So I'll probably do it tomorrow now, because it's getting on for 8 o'clock, but I need to just put a little bit of an extension there. That'll all be seam welded all the way around, top and bottom, seam welded round there, and I will spot weld it to that. That'll be left flat because there'll be a panel going up at some point. And I think what I'm actually going to do is, once I chop that off, because this is a structural piece, I'm going to put a roller bead around it, maybe 2 beads, to give it some extra strength on top of what it's already got. So I think I'll do that bit now, because it's obviously going to move a little bit with that. Before I take anything apart, and I apologise for the angle on this, I've got a couple of the Clico fittings in. I need to just square it across there and just put one in to that chassis rail there. Then what we'll do is we'll chop that off, put maybe 2 or 3 beads into that, and weld the end piece on as well. So I carried on a little bit. I've welded the bit on the side there, put a couple of beads in it just to strengthen up where the floor's going to mount. I've trimmed it off the floor level, so now it just wants seam welded all the way around. I've circled where I want to put some spot welds. There's a return lip on the back of there which I want to spot weld, and I'll seam it all the way around as well. I'll spot weld where all them little dots are down there, and I'm going to seam weld that all the way down so that that piece will be absolutely solid. That's going to be the beginning of the back end getting mounted up together. I've taken a measurement from the seat belt mounting point there over to the inner sill on both sides, and it's exactly the same. So we're still bang on square, and then once that's in, it really can't move. I can then look at sorting out this floor. It's just a bit of a pain with all this steel in the way, but I don't really want to take it out, so I'll have to unpick them spot welds, which are running all the way across there. And what I'm actually going to do is I'm going to put a panel going across, lip up, over and back down and flat, so that it covers that and it covers the first inch or first 15mm probably of the new floor I've put in, and overlaps into the existing floor, so that way when you lift up the carpets there's a really neat transition. Not 100% sure what I'm going to do with the front yet. I think I've kept the piece that was there and I've kept the piece from underneath, so I just need to make them work together somehow, even if it means chopping the end off the steel that I've put in just to make it flow. But I'll do that once it's on the ramp. Right, so I've just cracked on and made the mirror opposite for the other side. As you can see, I did it in one piece this time, didn't need to weld the end on. So that fits nicely. What I've got to do now is get the belt sander in and just clean up where all the connections are going to be, and then I can get that welded in. I've managed to take one of the bars out from across there to give me a little bit more access, because obviously the front end is now welded up to the mx5 in enough spots so that the front end is going to be held square. I don't want to do this bit because obviously I've got no connection at the rear, so I need to keep the back end square. I'll probably be able to relieve one of them, I reckon, to give me a bit more space once I've got this in, but I can work around it for now. So I think what I'll do is I'll get this in, I'll get the floor in on both sides. So I'm going to do this side then that side at the back to square that up. Then what I'll do, I think, is either get that rear floor area in, or I might just do the full floor on this side. It's just a bit of a pain in the neck with these bars in the way, but I need to get the strength in, so it's just going to be a case of struggling. And then I've not decided what I'm going to do at the back yet, because unfortunately where I could do with just coming round here, I'd never be able to get to the window regulator if I came up, so I'm going to have to make a pocket down there. So that's something else I'm going to have to think about. Alright, so I've just got the passenger side welded in, same as the driver's side, just need to put the support in. So I'll unpick that now. Oh, and I need to fill in that spot weld. My wife's just asked me to drop her off somewhere. Need to fill in that spot weld, just linish that back a little bit. Obviously the rest's all going to get covered. I seam welded the chassis leg as well. So starting to make some progress again. Apologies for the camera angle on this one. The phone slipped to one side, but you can see what I did anyway, so I thought I'd leave it in there. Right, so I've managed to get the back section in to match the other side. So I'll put the seat belt mount in, but I'm not too fussed about that. What I'm going to be doing is running a piece of floor from here right the way over and lipping over to hide all of that. So it's going to have a step in the floor. So it'll come across, up, over, down and across. And I need to just put in that front section there to lap the floor onto. Then what I'm going to be doing is putting a piece up at an angle there, picking up that section down with a little offset to triangulate that section there, which is what it used to be like. And I may even, it did have a gusset at an angle like that, so I'll probably knock a gusset together as well just to strengthen it, and possibly do the same on the other side as well, gusset it in. I have just spent far too long making this piece here for the floor to set onto. I did cut a section out from here, but I've cut it too much. Well, I overcut it, so I've had to weld a piece down the side and a piece across. I'm leaving all the weld on the back, the penetration, but I've linished it back on the inside, and it will be seam sealed anyway, but that will go in there. For now, I'm just going to spot weld it. I'll take that piece back so you can't see it, and then the floor will sit over the top of that. So hopefully when it's finished, when you look in, it won't look like anything's really been done. Well, it'll look like stuff's been done, but it'll look neat. I've just managed to tack weld that piece in. I've seam welded it at the bottom where I need to put the floor. I need a bit more space to be able to get that in. The floor's ready now, pretty much to get spot welded, bar I've just got to get rid of that, which I now regret putting in. It's going to be a pain in the neck. And then we can go right back to the back for the floor, and then we can triangulate that corner in. And then obviously same on the driver's side. Driver's side is going to be a bit more tricky because all the pedals are in the way, but we'll just do the same process where we'll tack it at the top, seam weld it at the bottom, and sort it out once the dashboard is out. Alright, so that's the end of today. I've just done the shitty work of getting rid of all the sound deadening from the driver's side. So I've got it loosely in place, that same corner. Luckily this one doesn't need any extensions, bar just at the front there. We're all clean, ready to unpick the floor section, and then it's just going to be a case of knocking two floors up. I've just got enough width of steel to make the 2 floor sections. We'll get them in and hopefully triangulate that section as well and infill that piece and angle it down. And then I reckon I can take some of the structure out, but I may wait until in fact I'm gonna wait. I'll wait until I've got the chassis legs done. Still not decided how what to do with the chassis legs yet, whether I want to drop them down and have a flat floor, or whether to just bring them across and angle the floor down on the sides, which will be easier but potentially stronger as well. So, and I can use the standard exhaust as well, which is another good thing. So I reckon that's the way I'll go, and then potentially I can get rid of a little bit of that, or actually don't need to. I can possibly put the battery on that side. So I'll drop down and have the battery on one side, or maybe battery could go on that side, hood pump on this side, something like that.